Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another weekly reading. Now, to my regular subscribers, I just want to make a quick announcement, and I'll also be putting out a separate video about it, but I am moving to a new channel. So once I get it all together, I will redirect you in the next video that comes out, and I hope that you find it. I hope that you are able to follow me to that new location. If not, I wish you well on your spiritual journey, and I hope to see you sometime down the road. Okay, so let's get started with the weekly reading. One of the changes that I'd like to make is that I'd like to not be compressed by an amount of time. So I'm not quite going to give this a time frame. You will know what this message is when it comes and when it arrives. But I wanted to tap into the collective energies that are happening this week, just to see what it tells us about what's coming forward, what might be, whatever is going on, right? So I'm going to start off this week with a reading. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's prepare the space, and let's let Spirit guide us where we need to go. Okay, thank you so much, Spirit. All right, let's just go straight into tarot. I'm using the Dream Enchantress deck. This is actually my very first tarot deck that I started working with. And let's see what the collective has in store. I know I've been like switching my beads all around, my bracelets all around. All right, let's do this one more time, and then we'll go ahead and ask Spirit for a message. Spirit, can you give us a message for the collective? Can you give us a message for the collective? Spirit, can you give us a message for the collective? Can you give us a message for the collective? What might the collective energies be experiencing at this time? Thank you, Spirit. Let me put that out there. What might the collective energies be experiencing at this time? All right, let's go ahead and see what this is. You know, what I see in this Eight of Swords, I feel like there is some sort of collective transformation. We're looking at ourselves. It's almost like we're coming out of this idea of an illusion. Not even an illusion, but I don't know, like, okay, so the way that I think about living as a spiritual being is there's this idea that, you know, we're looking at a mirror, at you know, everything that we're living on a daily basis is just mirroring back to ourselves how we feel about ourselves, or what we think of ourselves, or what we say to ourselves. And so a lot of times we get stuck in that loop of, why is what is staring at me hurting me so much? But also at the same time knowing that it's also you that is exhibiting some sort of behavior in order for there to be some sort of mirror back. Now, I'm not saying that you are, I'm not saying that there is something wrong. What I'm saying is that I think that we get to a point where we have to like change our mindset, because swords are all about thoughts and ideas, and sometimes we get so overwhelmed and so trapped in by external validation or external approval or external you know, other people's thoughts about us or other people's opinions of us, that we get stuck. And we get stuck in our own thinking, and it becomes a catch-22 that we can't get out of. In order to be able to see ourselves as like the ideal in another person's eyes. We have to think of ourselves ideally, but if we're getting that ideal, if we're getting that reflected back to us the way we think of ourselves, right? It's just this constant back and forth exchange of hurtful, like a hurtful self view, like a hurtful view of ourselves. And it becomes that loop that's hard to get out of. And so in order to change the way we see ourselves, we have to change the way we think about ourselves. And so that means we have to completely shut off that idea that the mirror that is facing back at us is going to tell us something that we need to do to move into that. And we can't, it won't be able to. We are the other side of the mirror, and we have to think for ourselves. And so one of the ways that I do that a lot of times for myself, when I find myself in a loop like that, just say, I call back all my power. I call back all my power. Like I call back the need for external validation. I call back all the power that I've given to other people to have some sort of a formed opinion of me that I deem correct. It's not up to them. It's up to you. So here, this is the idea that we are moving out of this need for external validation. And not only that, we understand, now there's another part to this too, completely separate from that, but kind of ties in, right? Where we have bought into an illusion. We have bought into an illusion that has trapped us in this catch-22, this back and forth. And I think last week I talked about removing ourselves from a trap, removing ourselves from an illusion. And so here it is again, this idea that we are removing ourselves. We are identifying that we are in an illusion. What we have been experiencing or what has been reflected back to us is not real. It's just a mirror. Right? So that's the other part of this card. I don't want you to be so harsh on yourself and believing that, oh, the thoughts about myself. It's more like, let's think about this from I don't want to bully myself into being this positive manifesting, oh, I have to be wonderful. Like it's really thinking about, where am I really right now in this moment? And it takes meditation, and it takes understanding that there's been this mirror reflected of what you thought, what you thought was a relationship, what you thought was something real that was being mirrored back to you, and it was just not. And so it's a matter of just being very honest with yourself without beating yourself up, or having these extra perfection. Again, this addiction, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this addiction to perfection even is a problem. It's part of a shadow of ourselves where we believe that we are supposed to exude this certain persona in order to receive the love that we might not have gotten as in our formative years. This is a transformative time. Okay, so let's see what else Spirit might have for us. What else? Here we go. Oh, look at that. We've gone from the Eight of Swords to the Eight of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Okay, so let me speak on this. This Eight of Swords is unhealthy ideas, unhealthy thoughts, thoughts that keep us trapped, thoughts that keep us trapped when we have the control and we have the ability to release ourselves from that thought process, from that catch-22, from that trap. Because how is it, I think about this, it's this idea of, I'm just giving you a visual here for the Eight of Swords. It's this idea of, and I'm just saying this, as an example. Say you have like a pet dog, and you've gotten the dog into this routine and rhythm of, it's going out on a leash, and we're going to walk, and we're going to stop at the coffee shop, and I'm going to leave the dog on, like, okay, let's put it this way. I'm not a pet owner, And I don't know if this is like an approved of thing or anything, but let's say you're just walking locally, or maybe you stop at a neighbor's house or something and you go in their yard, and they don't like pets, right? So you have the dog maybe in the inside on the neighbor's property, but like maybe put the leash by a fence. Dog is still fine outside and still within like a boundary, right? So one day you go over to your neighbor's house with your dog, but you don't take the leash this time. You carry the dog. Let's say it's a small dog. And so one day, you know, you do that and you just leave the dog in the same place that you had tied the dog up before with the leash, right? You know, you had anchored him with the leash, and the dog is like, oh, out of habit, you know, I'm not moving from this space, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I know that I apologize. I'm not a pet owner, thankfully, but I'm trying to get across the point that sometimes we get into unhealthy patterns of our ideas of ourselves, of our ideas of being trapped, or of our ideas of, you know, being in this one way of being in a catch-22. And so we get trapped in this way of being and thinking, and we lose an understanding of, oh my gosh, wait a minute, I'm not tied here. I'm not bonded here. I'm not, you know, anchored here. I can leave whenever I want to, and I can create, you know, I can create my own freedom. And so that's what I'm seeing in this Eight of Pentacles. Again, my apologies for the terrible, terrible analogy about the pet, but I was trying to get across that, you know, sometimes we don't know that we can just leave, right? We can just understand what got us into the negative thinking pattern, what got us into the negative manifestation pattern, and we can stop and exit and leave with the good parts of the pattern. And that's what I'm looking at in this Eight of Pentacles. In the Eight of Pentacles, we have someone here who is, you know, there are several creative projects around her. She's got an elephant, a sculpture of an elephant here. This is clearly someone who is an artist and is using a pattern of approach to create things that have gotten significantly, like, it's very small here, but you can see kind of like a gazelle, and then you see an elephant, and then you see like a bigger, there's a bigger sculpture back here. And then finally, she's working on this huge sculpture of looks like a dolphin. And so as we perfect, it's not perfect per se. I'm looking at this artist, and of course an artist has their own process of approach. It is never perfect, but it is always customized artist to artist to artist. It's always going to be what they do that makes them their best, not what makes you you as the artist, right? Because we are the art and we are the artists. But it doesn't make you the you don't have to basically be the same as everyone else. You don't have to be perfect. It just has to be right for you. Your pattern, your goodness, your stability, the way you do things, the way you live, the way you are is good inherently. And you don't have to change for anyone, but you can perfect, and you can change, and you can understand how to be human, right? How to approach being human over and over and over again in a way that works for you. And only for you. You don't have to have that judgment of anyone else. Wow. Okay, let's keep moving. Spirit, do you have anything else for the collective? Look at that. And from the Eight of Pentacles, we move to the Nine of Pentacles. This is where we are harvesting our wealth in our worth. I did my own reading this morning and last night, and I've come to this idea that Pentacles are not just about, it's not just about money. It's not just about, You know, yes, it's about being in a capitalist system, and in order to be in a capitalist system, you have to be productive, right? And in order to be productive, you have to find your worth and productivity. Not at all true. Not at all true. Your worth is tied to your ability to be true to yourself in every iteration of you, in every moment where you're hit with this need to transform, every moment where you're hit with, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. How can I make it work for me? And here in this Nine of Pentacles, this is you making it work for you. You might have been trapped. You might have been held in. You might have been tethered by nothing but a thought, a negativity, someone's mean words, someone else's insecurities kept you anchored, kept you held down and held back in your own negative thoughts because you allowed someone externally to validate or invalidate you. You gave them the power. Here is you taking the power back. And you not only took that power back, you parlayed it. You moved it. You made it. You turned it over. You made lemons into lemonade. Let's put it that way. You took what happened to you and you made it make you stronger in the best way you knew how to. You healed yourself. Here is the Nine of Pentacles. Spirit, do you have any other words for us here? This is independence. This is autonomy. This could be even you starting your own business. This could be you, not only that, you started your own business, but this is you branching out into your own self, into your own personness, right? Into your closer and closer to your authenticity. So the Nine of Pentacles here, right? I see the Nine of Pentacles and I see this is not perfection. This is not at all perfection. And thank God that it isn't, right? Thank God that it's not perfection. Because what could you do when perfection came? You'd almost end up opening yourself up for this to happen again, for someone to be in a space of being validated and invalidated, right? Nine of Pentacles means I don't need external validation. The work I've done is enough for me, and I don't need anyone else to say whether or not I've done good or not. I know I've done good. I know I've done good because I did the work. Because I understood my own patterns that worked for me. And I understand that perfection is not necessary. And if someone is looking for perfection from me, they can go put it where the sun don't shine. I don't need it. At the bottom of the deck is the Two of Pentacles. This is about balance. This is about finding balance here. And again, and when I say balance, we're not looking for perfection. Because see, look at this. Look at what my sign says. Progress, not perfection. Progress. And that's exactly what's happening here. Progress, not perfection. Because once we get into a cycle of perfection, we get addicted to it. And there are so many people that understand that addiction to perfection. There's a book by Marion Woodman, who is a Jungian analyst, who is very popular for talking about the divine feminine. The divine feminine and how the divine feminine affects us and moves us, right? The book is amazing. All of her books are just amazing and filled with gold, right? But she talks about this addiction to perfection that keeps us stuck in patterns of, honestly, the patriarchy that is in its unhealthy state, right? Because the patriarchy, when I talk about it, it's not a bad thing. But when the masculine is not in its healthy energy and it's not doing well, and again, when I talk about masculine, I'm talking about men and women that uphold this principle of the unhealthy masculine, the unhealthy patriarchy, right? So here is the balance coming through. Here is the balance coming through to get us to see how worthy we are, even and embracing our imperfections. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I talked about embracing our imperfection, and really I went really deep with it because I was talking about how I was embracing my own demons. I was embracing my own missteps and faults and things that I, started. This was in a balanced place that I was doing this. So it wasn't so much that I was like beating up on myself. It was more so that I was understanding why the good exist, why the bad exists, why do people call so much on angels and not on demons, right? And I had a question of myself not long ago. I said, because I got to a point where I was just like, enough. Like I said, enough. Spiritually, I was just like, enough. I openly asked. And I'm laughing because I'm just like, I think there's a part of me that is like, did I ever think that I was ever going to get to the point where I was questioning both God and the devil? Because as a human, didn't I give God what God demanded? And didn't I give the devil what the devil asked for when both of them came asking for what was due of me? I gave to both of them. And here I am, still stuck in the middle, right? And so now I understand, and I have to understand why God comes asking for loyalty, why the devil comes asking for loyalty. Both of them are coming for me. And I say coming for me, I have to give to both, right? I have to give to both. And I don't say that I don't want to say that I'm like a devil worshiper or this or that. But I just got to the point where I was just like, I felt like spiritually, I was not only paying my karmic dues, but I was also being asked to bow down, right? To bow down to this like other being, and also to bow down to this other being who is saying, pay your dues, pay your fares. And it's just like, I am no longer doing, either one or the other. Like I'm in the balance of imperfection here, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with not being this good. I'm fine with not being this bad side. I understand that both exist, and I understand that I also am kind of the fulcrum between the two, right? I am the balance between the two, right? I am in between both of these. I hope you understand that. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and let's see if we can get some guidance here. I'm going to pull out the, you know what? I have a group of cards here that I kind of want to check in on. Let's see. But let's see what the wild unknown archetype says about this. Because there's definitely a feeling of being in the liminal space. There's definitely a feeling of needing protection between both this unhealthy patriarchy, and not only that, the addiction to perfection also shows that the feminine, the matriarchy is also at her unhealthiest when in this energy of trying to balance out what the unhealthy patriarchy wants, right? The unhealthy masculine and the unhealthy feminine do not make a great couple. They just make an unhealthy couple. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and cut these. Shuffle one more time, and we'll ask Spirit for some guidance. Yeah. Come on. Okay. Okay, Spirit, can you give some guidance for this reading? I know these are hard to kind of shuffle. Oh, thank you. All right. So we've got the Mountain. I think the Mountain came out in a previous reading. I don't know if I shared that reading. It was very, very interesting, but it talked about The mountain here talks about the fire within us. The fire, the mountain within us is greater than the mountain that we climb. The mountain is not just a goal, it's actually a journey in the self. And this is the way that we come to ourselves and come into being and we're reborn when we take on this challenge of climbing the internal mountain versus climbing the external. It becomes a journey of I want to say not reinvention, but reclaiming all the minerals that make up the mountain, all the joyful things that make up the thing that is just so hard for us to climb, become the thing that makes us so worthy and wonderful. We discover the mountain within us is greater than the mountain outside of us. So we've got that card out. But I also want to use this deck here. It's a new deck that I've been using, new to you all. I've been using it for a few months. But let's go ahead and see. It's called hold on, let me bring the box out so you can see it. It's called the Spiral Oracle by Lily Acuna. She is an artist who created this deck, and it's a gorgeous deck. So let's go ahead and see. This has been really resonating with me for quite a while, and it has some guidance in it in the book. So I'll go ahead and take a look at that. But I'd like Spirit to come through with a card for the collective. As helpful as this deck has been for me, I'd also hope that there is some helpfulness, something helpful for the collective as well. So Spirit, can you please come through this deck with some guidance for the collective? Thank you, Spirit. Can you give us a card with some guidance for the collective for this reading? That's too many cards. Can I get one card or even two? Okay. Ooh, okay. Open channel. I love it. I love it. Open channel. Because what happens when we're blocked by other people's opinions of us? What happens? We are unable to see. We are unable to receive even, right? So here's the open channel. Let's go ahead. I'm going to read that. We've also got alignment at the bottom of the deck. I'll read that too. Okay. So here's the book. I'm going to get in here and look at open channel. Life is fresh and new at every moment. As a mountain bird, look at that. The mountain is here too. As a mountain bird, I learned to read the changing winds. I embrace the challenge of the unexpected. Yeah, with being an artist here too and opening yourself up to looking at your own patterns, you're opening yourself up for the unexpected. And a lot of times, opening ourselves up for the unexpected here is like opening ourselves up for exclusion from a group. It's like opening ourselves up to rejection, to not belonging, right? But sometimes we have to not belong. We have to be in this space of imperfection and not belonging in order to find our way, our space, our uniqueness, our value, our love, right? Okay, so let's continue. At times I get lost in an ocean of complexities without being able to take even the smallest leap. Yeah, look at that, an ocean of complexities. Yet when I flow without needing anything or anyone, independence, it becomes absolutely natural for me to drive my inner vehicle. I am a deep being, and the environment which surrounds me pierces me like a spear. What? The environment that surrounds me in this Eight of Swords pierces me like a spear. The environment is what is keeping you stuck. Where you are is keeping you stuck. the group that you're in, it could be the place where you live, it could be the job that you're working, it could be the area that you live in. Whatever it is, it could be just your frame of mind, but wherever it is keeping you stuck, and it's time to get out. Okay. I observe it and I realize that it is made of light. I am able to look beyond the illusory scenario of the present moment. Today, I am certain that the story I have not yet created is about to be born. This moment is an opportunity. Yeah, didn't I talk about being in the moment? With deep love, I rewrite myself. I rewrite myself. This is not just, creating is rewriting. This is changing the way that you see yourself. With deep love, I rewrite myself. We can all rewrite ourselves. Okay, creation is the energy in this open channel card. When I embrace my creative power, right? When I embrace my creative power, I am filled with strength. My creativity has always been ready to improvise and provide solutions in the most diverse circumstances of life. I make my mind flexible. I give permission to deep impulses and to the expression of my essence. An inner call invites me to create my own destiny through new ideas, perceptions, and feelings. Today, my creative potential is the answer. It is the key that opens the doors to the great uplifting of humanity. Wow. You freeing yourself from this idea of perfection, you freeing yourself from this limiting environment, you freeing yourself from that relationship, from that hurt, from everything. You releasing yourself uplifts humanity. You are the guide. You are the marker. You are the person that shows the people how to free themselves, how to find freedom. All you have to do is be an open channel. Find your way to constantly be an open channel. Find your way to get out of the limiting beliefs, get out of the lies, get out of the, keeping up with the Joneses, right? Get out of that. Live the life that you're meant to live. No one needs to approve of it but you. And then once you live the life of authenticity, you find other people want to also do the same thing, and you've led the way. You've written the book on it. You've created a whole new blueprint that no one ever knew existed until that moment. Okay, so let's look at this alignment card. Let's see what this has to tell us. Alignment. There is a profound desire calling, waiting for me to listen. It's the universal intention of life, reaching me like a strong wind, flourishing now for me. I deserve to live, and I have the right to live in peace. I am the only human being who can give myself such a gift. So I face the sun because life is made to be lived now. What is life to me? Empowerment. I recover my power. I think I talked about this earlier. Call your power back into yourself. I accept life, breathing pain and joy, and I finally do what I have come to do. It is time to start creating the world that you and I and all our sisters and brothers deserve. Our song is fire and pure love. It's a dove-cote dove, olive from an olive grove. It is the universal song, chain that will triumph, the right to live in peace. Yes. All right, friends, that is your reading. This is the energy. I'm just going to put a date on it, but I'm not going to put a confines or any kind of limit on when this reading is good for you. It's good for you now. It's good for you later, right? So anytime you see this reading, hopefully you find some value in it while you are in the valley or when you're in the peaks of the mountain. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day, week, month, year, life. Thanks.